In Chapter 10 of The Grapes of Wrath, in Uncle John's kitchen, Tom talks with Ma about California. Ma doubts California is really a land of plenty. Tom tells her not to worry about the future and instead just focus on the present, though he admits that a guy who came back from California said the state has far too many workers. Casey enters and asks if he can go with them to California. Ma says that he would most likely be welcome, but that the family has to discuss it. Al drives a truck toward Uncle John's house, with Uncle John and Pa seated next to him and Ruthie, Winfield, Rose of Sharon, and Connie standing in the truck bed. Ruthie is starting to develop sexually and tries to act like a lady. Winfield is a snot-nosed kind of wild kid. Rose of Sharon is a young woman who is a few months pregnant and has a self-sufficient smile and knowing perfection look. Her husband, Connie, is a lean young man and a hard worker. Uncle John has extreme mood swings and habits, like abstaining from liquor for a long time, but then cracking and drinking himself into a stupor. Al feels a strong responsibility for taking care of the truck. All three men are angry about being cheated by the person who bought their team and wagon, and some other equipment. Ruthie and Winfield happily but shyly greet their older brother, Tom. Rose of Sharon introduces Connie. The family then has a meeting to prepare for the trip, during which they discuss the condition of the truck and agree that Casey can come along. The men slaughter their pigs and carve them up. Tom then suggests that they get ready and leave that very night instead of waiting until the next day. The family agrees. Ma and Noah prepare the pork. Casey helps Ma salt the pork. Ma, surprised, says it's woman's work. Rose of Sharon helps with the packing, and Tom loads the tools. Ma makes the difficult decision about what personal belongings to leave behind. The family loads their truck, and Muley comes to say goodbye. Suddenly, Grandpa decides he's not going to leave. Instead of forcing him, the family drugs his coffee. He drinks it and passes out. The family then carries Grandpa to the truck, everyone climbs in, and the truck pulls away with Al driving, leaving Muley standing forlornly in the dooryard, looking after them. In Chapter 10, Steinbeck develops the theme of the community of humanity through the Joad family, who works together for the mutual benefit of its members, as opposed to the machine-like bank monster, in which people work for the selfish benefit of the inhuman, insatiable beast itself. Each person in the Joad family has a well-defined position, with each member doing their job. Steinbeck subtly develops the theme of individual versus community in this chapter, which deals with a person having a narrow vision of the world as opposed to a wider vision. Perhaps if the Joad family had a wider view, they would realize that going to California may very well be chasing a false dream.